Have you ever hung up the phone or left a family gathering feeling completely drained, confused, or just bad about yourself? If so, you might be dealing with a toxic relationship. It's a tough situation, especially when it involves people you love, like friends or family. But your mental peace is priceless, and today, we're going to talk about how to protect it. First, you need to recognize the signs. A toxic person often thrives on drama. They might constantly criticize you, but disguise it as a joke. They might be a master of guilt tripping, making you feel responsible for their happiness. For example, a friend might say, "You never have time for me anymore," right after you've explained you have a major deadline. Or a family member might comment on your weight every time you see them, saying they're just concerned for your health. These behaviors aren't normal or healthy. They're red flags. Pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone. If you consistently feel anxious, devalued, or exhausted, that's your gut telling you something is wrong. Once you've identified the toxicity, the next step is to set firm boundaries. This is probably the hardest part, but it's the most crucial. Boundaries aren't about punishing the other person. They're about protecting yourself. You need to decide what you will and will not tolerate. For instance, if a friend always calls to complain for hours, but never asks how you are, you could say, "I only have about 10 minutes to chat right now." You're not cutting them off, but you are limiting the energy drain. With a critical family member, you could say, "I appreciate your concern, but my body is not a topic for discussion." Be clear, calm, and direct. You don't need to be aggressive. Just state your boundary and stick to it. They might get upset, but your well-being comes first. Now, let's talk about managing your emotional reaction. Toxic people are experts at pushing buttons. They know how to get a rise out of you. The key is to not give them that power. This is called emotional detachment. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting their behavior dictate your feelings. Imagine you have a relative who always makes passive-aggressive comments during family dinners. Instead of getting defensive, you can try a technique called gray rocking. You become as uninteresting as a gray rock. Give short, non-committal answers. "Oh, is that so? I see." Don't share personal information they can use against you later. By not engaging in the drama, you take away their fuel. The fire will eventually burn out when there's nothing left to feed it. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, the relationship is just too damaging to maintain. In these cases, creating distance might be the only healthy option. This doesn't always mean cutting someone out of your life completely, although sometimes that is necessary. It could mean reducing the frequency of your interactions. Maybe you see that family member only at major holidays instead of every week. Maybe you text that friend occasionally instead of talking on the phone daily. For example, I had a friend who was incredibly negative. Every conversation was a complaint fest, and I always felt down afterward. I tried setting boundaries, but nothing changed. So, I started being busy more often. I slowly created distance, and my mental health improved dramatically. Prioritizing your peace isn't selfish. It's essential for your survival and happiness. Remember, you deserve relationships that are supportive, respectful, and uplifting. It's okay to protect your energy. If you're struggling with this, talking to a therapist or a counselor can be incredibly helpful. They can provide tools and support as you navigate these difficult dynamics. You don't have to go through this alone. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on living a healthier, happier life. Let me know in the comments below if you have any strategies for dealing with toxic relationships. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.